Hey y'all, welcome back to Trendy DIY 29, back with another video. I wanted to show you guys, I have some action going on finally. As you guys know, I started my garden late, so there are a few things that are finally coming in. So I wanted to share with you guys the progress that I've made. You guys can see the nasturtiums are really struggling in this location. I moved the box down further to try to, get it closer to the sun. But as you can see, they are literally twisted and like growing towards the sun. It's just not a sunny enough location. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get that trailing flower effect that I'm going for. The nasturtiums in the ground are like literally 5 times the size of this, maybe even bigger, and I still haven't got flowers on those either. So not sure about that. Beautiful butter crunch lettuce. Too bad it all is bitter. I tasted it. All of my lettuces have to be pulled out. It's too late in the season for lettuce. That is the one lavender plant I've been trying to save. It just doesn't act like it wants to grow more than just that little bit. So I don't know, I might just end up scrapping it. The beautiful chamomile coming in great. The mesclun lettuce blend. This as well has bolted, and this is another mix of lettuce blends. This one actually still tastes somewhat okay, but I feel like in a few more days, if we get more hot weather, it's gonna be done. And over here, guys, is the grand finale. Like, I want you guys to see just how much this is. Literally was 2 tomato plants. And as you can see, this turned into 2 plants, and then this is like 2 plants, and this is the Tammy G. The Tammy G have the oval shaped tomatoes, and I just love how they grow in like these cute little clusters, but they're not ready. This one seems like it's blushing, so maybe that'll be ready soon. This is the Sun Sugar. They are supposed to be an orange type tomato. You can see these are actually coming in. And you can see I have more. Like, they are literally growing all the way out here. So I'm going to have to do some trailing. But what I'm going to do, and down here, guys, I want you to see the basil, the collards, the kale. That's cabbage. That is, I want to say that's Georgia collards. That in the corner is, I want to say, blue curly kale. And I want to say that there's some cabbages in here, but you can see something was eating this. I'm not that worried about it as long as I can grow enough so that, as long as it grows well enough that I can keep it alive, so that once the summer starts to die down, these plants hopefully will take over this box, and this is going to be where I plan on growing my greens. I'm kind of growing them in the shade of the tomatoes. I kind of started them a little too early, but it'll be alright. So I'm going to take these. It's really not that much. I don't know why I have a giant basket like this, but I'm going to take these ones off, and they're ready because they just pop right off. And these orange ones and the yellow ones tend to have a softer skin. It's really not that many. I can take off these 2 because they're almost ready. But there's really not much on here, but the Sun Sugars tend to have a thinner skin, so you want to kind of take these out. You can pick them when they're about yellow like that, but you want to wait until they have a little bit of color. Don't pick them when they're green. You want to wait till the shoulders are blushing and changing another color. So that's literally all I have. 5 of them. That's hilarious. And then finally, we got some action with the cucumbers. You got your cucumber flower. And then you guys see over there, see if I could focus out. We got the baby cucumber coming in. That's 1. It looks like there's like 2 or 3, 4, 5. It's like 5 baby cucumbers. Let me go around back so you guys can see. So you see my little cucumbers is coming in. And I got it on this little trellis just to give it a little bit of sturdiness. And then what I'll probably do is stick in some sticks or something and weave it through here so that it will be able to grow higher. The rosemary is growing beautiful. And these are the other ones. This one looks really jacked up, but it seems like it's fixing itself, so I'm probably going to trim off those messed up leaves, spray it down with some neem oil, and it'll be okay. This one was the late starter, but as you can see, it's coming out good now. These are the beans. I've literally been getting beans every day. Here goes some more beans, and I'm just gonna, and I'm adding them to the same sandwich bag that I've been had. My beans are starting to slow down, so I'm gonna be planting another round of these. Like, you can let them get even bigger, but I try to pick them because if you miss like one day, you might end up having beans that are like this one. I could have waited because you see that little green tip, but if I wait longer than like 2 days, it may end up being too big and then it'll be hard. So I'd rather pick them smaller than to end up with the hard ones. I'm gonna see, like this one, you see this one still needs some more time. It has some green on it. I really don't think, like this one has some green on it. There's really not much action going on. I don't see these plants producing much flowers. So what I might do, like here goes like a flower, guys, down in here, right there. But it's not really producing much flowers. So what I'm gonna do is probably start another batch of these over here. This is the pink brandywine. And I officially agree with everybody else who said that this plant is kind of like no point in growing it. As you can see, look how big this plant is, and it literally doesn't have not one tomato on it. There's some flowers on it, but there's not one tomato on it, and it's just as big as my beefsteak. There goes my beefsteak, and then here goes the pink brandywine. They're almost the exact same size. They're growing in the exact same size container. And that one has nothing on it. Down here, I'm so proud of this. This is the chili pepper. And I want you guys to see, look at all these chilies on there. There's a lot of chili peppers on here. Like, they're everywhere. Like, all these flowers are going to be chili peppers. And all down here is going to be chili peppers. I want to get into making some type of hot sauce to figure that out. I have a book coming in. But yeah, I just thought that this is just producing great. You can see all the different chili peppers. I'm not going to pick any. They'll turn all different colors. They'll turn yellow, red, orange, all pretty colors. I'm going to wait. I used a few yesterday. You can use them now. This is my little carrot and onion patch that I started from seed. The onions look like they're struggling. Never planted onions from seed before, so I'm not sure about how that's going to come out. So I couldn't find any onion starts, so I might not end up with any onions this year. This is the echinacea plant. The echinacea, finally, it looks like it's about to, if you guys can see right here in the middle, it looks like it's about to try to do something in the center. It looks like a little flower thing starting. So I might be about to get a flower on this middle one, but I don't know what's up with this plant. Right here, you guys can see the calendula. I grew this from seed. The calendula is growing beautifully. This is my pride and joy. If you don't know what tomato to grow the beefsteak. I want you guys to see. Look how big this tomato is. Like, I don't even know if you guys can see how big it is. But look how big that is. Then there's another one coming in. Another one. They always give you some funky looking tomatoes. Look, another one. Look how big that one is. Another one. Some more. Like, this is prolific. And this is the, I want to say, this is just the regular, yeah, the heirloom beefsteak. And it's huge. These tomatoes are huge. So I want you guys to realize just how big of tomatoes you can actually grow in containers. This is the Cherokee purple. As you guys can see, it just started putting on a tomato. I might transfer it to a bigger pot because the bigger your pot, the bigger your plant will grow. So if you want to grow bigger tomatoes, make sure you have a big pot. These are the Pink's Double Imperial, the flowers that I can't wait to grow. Finally, they look all wild and crazy. Not sure how long it's going to take for me to actually see some flowers. I'll say hopefully by the end of around the middle of August, hopefully everything in the garden should be bloomed. This is the Pink Brandywine, another one. As you can see, it's the potato leaf variety because it has leaves like a potato plant. But this is the only one that I have so far. Out of both plants, there's only one. And as you can see, there's a small little hole right there. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be like attacked from the inside. So maybe once this one starts blushing, I might just pick it. That's the peppermint, always doing well. Rosemary is always doing well. These are the nasturtiums. Now look at the difference in size. Look how big these are compared to the other ones. These are getting full sun. But as you can see, there are, for some reason, they did not grow. I wanted this whole center to be covered in nasturtiums. For some reason, that little patch did not grow anything. I don't know why. Hopefully it'll spread, but they're growing nicely. There's not one flower down here yet. So hopefully I'll get some flowers right here, back here. This is just another Cherokee purple. It started flowers, but it just hasn't created a tomato yet. Right here, guys, is something new in the garden that you guys probably haven't seen yet. Right here, I have a raised bed. I just got the Square Foot Garden book. I followed Mel's Mix almost to a T. Now, I know everybody says do not change Mel's Mix, because if you change Mel's Mix, then you're not Square Foot gardening. But I could not find, he said like 5 different fertilizers. If you're gonna make your own compost, use like 5 different bags of compost. Long story short, I don't have 5 different bags of compost, so I had to just use 2 different types of compost. So maybe over time, if I come across different bags, I'll mix it in, but I wasn't gonna not do anything because I couldn't find the compost. So this is basically peat moss, vermiculite, and compost. That's all it is. I literally put a some garden landscape fabric on the bottom. My boyfriend built this little block of just pieces of 2x4. Actually, this is wider than 2x4, but I don't know how wide this is. But this is I want to say that this is actually a little bit smaller than a 4x4 foot, which is what he recommends. But we already had this built because it was supposed to be for my green stalk, but it was too it was supposed to be for my green stalk, but it ended up being too big. So I was like, oh, I'll just make that into a raised bed, and that's what I did. Put it directly over top my grass with the fabric underneath, and there you go. And I need to like section it out into 12-inch squares, and then I'm gonna go planting from there. I just haven't started anything because my plants aren't 100% ready yet. I'm gonna step over here. And this, remember guys, I said this was the 3 squash, and I'm like, I don't know, squash need big containers, but there's 3 squash in here. There's one, I want to say crookneck squash, and then there's 2 Dixie hybrid. The crookneck squash is the one that has like the white looking veins. The Dixie hybrid is the one that's like straight green. So it's 2 Dixie hybrid over here, and then that's the crookneck over here. And if you look underneath here, see if I can show you guys, there's one in there. And I just pulled one off today, one that did not get pollinated, and I threw it. Let me see if I can find it. I can show you guys. Oh, right here. If you see one of these, if this is what your squash looks like, this means it did not get pollinated. So just rip it off because it's just going to rot. Rip it off, throw it away. But this is when the bees do not pollinate it and they miss it, you get this. So far, there's only 1 coming in, but I can't believe that there's 3 growing in here. What I think I'm going to do is try to, like, stake them, but I'm not sure. I'm scared of messing up the roots. And then, of course, the beautiful marigolds, they dried out, though, yesterday, so a lot of them need to be dead-headed. And like we talked about, Dead hitting is literally just going through your garden and just plucking off the dead flowers. Now what I like to do is take these dead flowers and get them all. Use scissors if you can. But I like to take these dead flowers because they still smell really strong like marigolds, and I like to like drop them around the edge of my garden, and I'll show you how I do that. So like right here where my plants are, I would literally just drop some in between here. You see that? And just drop them down in between there, and the smell will be there. So I got disconnected, but like I was saying, you can drop the little dead flowers somewhere, and the smell of the dead flower is also like a repellent. So I like to just sprinkle them around, like for instance around the sides of the raised bed. You can do different things like that. This is new to the family. I cannot wait. I started a Black Beauty eggplant, if you guys want to know what it looks like. Right here, Black Beauty. I started a Black Beauty eggplant from seed, and then I read how long they take to get to maturity. So I decided just to go purchase one, and this is the Black Beauty that I purchased. There's really not much going on. I do see right here an eggplant coming on. That looked like it could possibly have been a flea beetle. And I keep these sprayed down with neem oil because bugs will come to attack your eggplant. So flea beetles and some other things they said, so you really want to watch that. Over here, this was a rescue plant. I seen it at the store. It looked like it's about to die, and I don't have a yellow tomato. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try a lemon boy. So this is a lemon boy hybrid. And this is all of the plant that I have. As you can see, the top was really jacked off. I cut it off. It was producing a tomato, but I wanted to work on producing roots. So right now, that's what I have it in a sunny location. I'm just letting it sit there, and I'm treating it with some high NP and K, a high nitrogen right now. I think I'm using like a 12 nitrogen or something right now because I'm trying to promote leaf growth. So yeah, if you ever have a plant and you feel like it's gonna die and doesn't have that many leaves, try to hit it with a high nitrogen, like a 12 nitrogen. Most people say a 555. I would not recommend a 555 for a plant that's beat up like this, especially this late in the season. I would recommend something that's higher, maybe like a 12, a 1277 or something like that. So that's what I would do. And then the green stalk, like I don't even know where to start. Right here, these are the dragon tongue. I'm not sure if dragon tongue beans are supposed to be this light, but look how light these are. But I'll find out. But I have a lot more that have to go in. And these are really pretty. These are the royal burgundy beans. They are wild. I don't know if these ones are supposed to climb. I don't see any tendrils. But these are the purple royal burgundy beans. And you can see they're really pretty and purple. This is the jalapeno pepper. It's like a jalapeno pepper, but they have no spice, so you have a jalapeno. Then down here, like I'm gonna have to trellis this up because this is like, it needs to be up like this because it's taking over my pepper. Right here is another bell pepper right here. So this bell pepper is not coming in yet. So then over here is the jalapeno. Then over here, this is the Ichiban. This is the Japanese eggplant. As you can see, flea beetles have been through here. I've been treating this with neem oil, dish soap, vegetable oil as a blend. But this is the Japanese eggplant. And as you can see, it's coming in. I don't know why this is so blurry, but you can see how pretty this is. And these take forever to grow. So that's one, that's two, that's three. This one should be here in about maybe, I give it about a week or so, hopefully, but I never grew these before, so I'm not sure. Then we have more green beans over here. So I might as well pick these off because these are, like I said, if they get too hard, then you really don't have much of a chance. Let me see if there's any more on here. There's nothing else. See, this is too big. And then I should have picked this yesterday. You don't want them to be this big, because you can see that it's starting to bust through. And then this one, this is flea beetle damage. So when you see this, that's flea beetles. And what you're going to need to do, for once, I just take the leaf off. If you got enough leaf, just throw the leaf away. Just in case there's something on there that you can't see, just throw the leaf away. Because it might be an egg, it might be something on there that you can't see. And I've already came through and took off all the dead leaves, as you guys can see. It's not as jacked up. And you see all of this stuff? This is what you call rust. So this is bean rust. So I like to just take off the damaged leaves. And then right here, guys, this is the bell pepper. It is so cute. It's coming in. Now, as you can see, it's getting crazy heavy. I'm going to need to maybe tie it to this stake. You can share your stakes too, because right now this stake is with the ground cherry. The ground cherry is out of control and is not really producing that much. What you're looking for is it to get like this color, then they fall off and you eat them. But I feel like it's taking up a lot of space, and I'm really not getting that much of a turnaround. I say I've probably gotten maybe 5 of them off of here. But I'm really happy about that bell pepper. I've yet to been able to grow full-size bell peppers. This will be the second year. Then up here, yes, you can grow squash in here. I've had a lot of people wonder, can you grow big stuff in here? Well, I decided to test it out, and look, yes, you can. Because it's growing perfectly. And then up here is the Swiss chard. This is rainbow, so we have the red Swiss chard, the regular Swiss chard. I have, I want to say that this is like an orange type, because it looks less red, but yeah. It's really not that many beans. And then down here, this is like my favorite tomato that I tell you guys to grow. This is the patio hybrid. It's a dwarf tomato. It's not going to get that big. But like right here, there goes one. It's coming in. And you don't really want to trim these. You really only want to trim it for size, like if you have it in a green stalk. But if you don't have it in a green stalk and you have it by itself, don't trim it at all, because it's going to get to a determined size. It's going to give you a determined amount of tomatoes, and then it's just going to be done. So if you cut away flowers, they're not going to come back. So this is basically going to give you tomatoes, and then it's going to die off, and that's it. So like I could take these if like I really wanted to, but why? Technically jalapenos are red when you harvest them. Me, usually I'll harvest them green. That's how we used to eating them. But if I don't need to have a use for them, I will harvest them red and just leave them on the plant, because it takes a while for them to turn red. Then the next one down here, guys, I want you to see. This is a little cucumber, and believe it or not, I've thought the cucumber wasn't going to do good, but it's down here with all of this shade. If I show you, look at all that shade from these leaves, and it's actually growing well. And what else? I don't see where I want to show you. Oh, right here. These are the tiny tomatoes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to dig. Hold up, that's not it. They are right here. This right here are the tiny tomatoes. Now these are what you call the orange hat tomatoes. This one is going to have to be dug out. This one is going to have to be moved. This one I'm probably going to leave here. Don't mind any of the ghetto-ness in the background. People don't have respect. But this is the orange hat, and this is the other orange hat. And as you can tell, they're growing too close to each other. So I'm probably just going to move one. I might just move it to the top, because up here it doesn't have anything. But I'm going to get I'm going to go ahead and trim down the rest of this. So let me get this. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm terrible with filming. When you don't film in a while, you forget. And then this one, this has to get cut, guys. So I did not want it to fall, but I didn't have a choice. But it's not as big as I wanted it, but it's getting like woody, so I just got it, like whatever. And then there's another one. They'll probably be ready tomorrow. But yeah, that's about it. And then right here is my tomato trellis that I wanted to talk to you guys about. So basically, if you guys see, this is the, I want to say this is the million cherry tomato. And as you can see, this is why they call it the million. It literally has a million of these little ones growing everywhere. More flowers coming in, more flowers coming in. And what I did was I cut the bottom out of this, dug a hole, cut the bottom out of this planter, planted it inside of the hole, filled the soil so that the plant will be able to grow from the pot into the ground. So that's what I did. Then I used ladder mesh that you can get at Home Depot. It's like $3.50. Took them, and if you look up here, I zip tied them together. So you only need two, so it's like $7. Zip tie them together. This is actually like reusable zip ties, but I don't know why I got reusable zip ties. You really don't need reusable zip ties because I'm guessing you're gonna keep it up forever. And basically these are some 6-foot T-posts right here. I want to say either 5-foot or 6-foot T-posts that we hammered into the ground on both sides. And then you connected them, and then we formed like an archway. So you guys can see the tomato, and it's gonna grow up and over this archway. Now I was gonna plant another one over here in the corner, but I feel like that's a waste of getting another plant. I might put something else there. I was scared to do a regular size one there because it might be too heavy. So I just said, okay, I'm just gonna let this one see what it can do. Worst come to worst, I might move the yellow boy plant just over there, sit it next to that, and just let it grow up there. I'm not sure yet, but that is what the goal is. If you want like an in-depth way of doing it, you can check out Callie Kim, or you can check out Gary at the Rustic Gardener. Both of them, they have in-depth ways of exactly how to build this step-by-step on their channel. I decided not to do a step-by-step because it was kind of all over the place. It was trial and error. It was all over the place. And I had already started making it, so I was like, there's no point to start filming when I was already a quarter of the way done. And I forgot to tell you guys, too. This is the box that I was telling you guys about that my boyfriend built me. And what he basically did was, we have a uneven ground, and my green stock planter actually fell over. We had Elsa, which I believe was a tropical storm or something. Well, anyway, Elsa came through. High winds. My whole entire tower fell over. Thank God a lot of the plants survived. The tower is durable. It did not break. It did not crack or anything. So it's worth the money that I spent on it. But what he did was he built this little square. He filled it with leveling sand. And then he found one of these little bricks right here. At first we had the 16 by 16, but the wheels kept getting caught, like where the two bricks would stick together, would meet up. So in order to make it easier for me to spin and to rotate it, he found something bigger. I want to say this may be a 20 by 20, and he leveled it off, sat this down. So now I don't have to worry about this tipping over. So that's the only reason why this is here. You don't need this for your green stock. If you have a level ground, use your level ground. This was a nuisance of doing it, but we had to do it in order to make it stand straight. But another good thing too about the leveling sand is that when your water drains out, the leveling sand does not pool. Your water just goes into the sand and it's even. So that's really good to keep disease and stuff away, because you don't want a big wet mess attracting insects and stuff. So that's pretty good. Only thing that I can say about the green stalk is that I've noticed that it is like a spider motel. So be careful when you're like digging in it. There's usually spiders, spider webs everywhere all the time. So you really want to be careful on that. And yeah, and peppers get really tall. That's another thing I've noticed. The sweet peppers tend to not get as tall. The hot peppers tend to be taller than sweet peppers. It's weird. And I need to do something about this, like I told you guys. But I wanted to just give you guys a very quick, just zoom back into that eggplant. I'm just so amazed at the deepness of that purple. Like, it's crazy to me. But yeah. So this is everything, guys. I really don't have that much. I plan on doing a video soon. Oh yeah, this is another new plant that I got. This is a sweet bay plant. I wanted a bay leaf. This is going to be more like a tree. I left him outside, and by his container being so small, he started to dry up. But I need to find him an actual container, because this is going to turn into a tree. And then these are all of the plants that I'm getting ready, the new ones that are going in. You want to plant for second wave. So I have broccoli, I have round zucchini, I have a habanada pepper, I have Sumter cucumbers, dragon beans, pak choy, what else? Red kale, broccoli to CCO. My eggplant finally grew, which I doubt I'll get anything. I actually started a watermelon this late. Yes, I did. I doubt if I'll get one, but I was like, whatever. I'm just going to put that in the ground. So that's basically all. And as you guys can see, this is really nothing, but I want to say within the next 2 weeks, stuff should be like, everything should be producing, and then I should start having full baskets. So make sure that you like, you share, and you subscribe, and I'll be back with another video.